Today's video is about biohacking. This week on the podcast, I chatted to the brilliant Davinia Taylor. I've heard Davinia referred to previously as the UK's biohacking queen. So when I was telling friends and family how excited I was to have her on the podcast, I was surprised by how many people hadn't heard of the term biohacking. So I thought I would do a short video to explain what biohacking is. Biohacking is basically DIY biology, so it's using tools, habits or science to optimise your body and mind. Think of it as fine-tuning your human hardware. Some quick examples are tracking sleep with smart rings, intermittent fasting and use of saunas and ice baths. But why do people bother? Well, benefits include boosting your energy, sharpening your focus and maybe even, some believe, slowing down aging. Welcome to the wild world of biohacking, where science meets self-optimization. It's essentially about experimenting with nutrition, technology, movement, and your environment to feel and perform better on a day-to-day basis. It is possible to biohack through your nutrition, and this is actually where I came across the term. After my cancer treatment, I read one of Davinia's first books, It's Not a Diet, and in it she recommended intermittent fasting with bulletproof coffee. This is where you stir MCT oil, a fat, into your black coffee, and the combination of caffeine and MCT oil is said to boost brain energy and enhance focus without the energy crash of regular high-carb breakfasts. I kept to this for a period of time until I started training for the London Marathon, where I started to feel totally fatigued, and it just wasn't sustainable for me. This past year, after interviewing Dr. Stacey Sims, who says that women shouldn't do intermittent fasting, I have researched quite widely into it. There's quite a lot of online back and forth and disagreeing between a few top names, and the social algorithms go wild for it. But I think if you listen to the long form content and not just the short social clips, then actually everyone is agreeing. Dr. Stacey calls it time-restricted eating, and Davinia calls it fasting. But what actually is fasting? She's having bulletproof coffee in her fasts, which has calories in it, through the MCT oil. So is it actually fasting? I think it's all in the terminology. It's a minefield and it's confusing. Essentially, you need to work out what is right for you. In fact, Davinia spoke about the importance of N=1 in biohacking, and what works for one person may not necessarily work for the next. As an example, where do we even start when it comes to supplements? I go into my local health food shop and there are shelves and shelves of the stuff. But if you look at the ingredients, they are totally different, and some of the most reputable brands are actually filled with bad stuff. I recently tried one of the most recommended pure supplements on the market at the moment, and it gave me terrible headaches. And rather than make me feel sharper and fresher like it promised in all of the ads that kept flooding my social feeds, I felt fuzzy and terrible. What works for one person absolutely may not work for someone else. What about aging? Did you watch the Netflix programme with Brian Johnson, the man who wants to live forever, which follows tech entrepreneur and biohacker Brian Johnson as he embarks on an extreme quest to reverse aging and dramatically extend his lifespan? The documentary offers intimate access to his life and his so-called Project Blueprint, a $2 million a year regimen involving over 100 daily supplements, red light therapy treatments, strict sleep and diet protocols, and experimental procedures like gene therapy and family plasma transfusions. Johnson claims his methods have reduced his biological aging rate to only about 8 months per year, citing improved biomarkers and overall youthfulness. But who has $2 million a year to spend on this? Not including all the time it takes. Then there's tech wearables like Oura rings, Whoop straps, or continuous glucose monitors. These all help you track sleep, recovery, and how your body responds to food. I personally think these can be a great tool as long as you're not the type of person to become obsessed by it. I think we should ultimately learn to trust our gut over a bit of tech, and some people get so obsessed with their tech that even if they wake up feeling fresh and full of beans, if their data shows them that they've had bad sleep, that is enough to change their whole mindset and make them feel rough for the rest of the day. And there's actually been scientific research into the fact that this does happen. I am, however, a fan of environmental biohacks. If it's easy, accessible, makes you feel good and is definitely not detrimental, then why not? Things like cold plunges, infrared saunas, blue light blockers, and yes, exercise. Exercise is a foundational, science-backed biohack that can transform your mental clarity, metabolic health, and even longevity. Then there's mental biohacking. This is where mindset is part of the game. Meditation, breathwork, even gratitude journaling are all brain hacks, which are backed by science. We now know that stress isn't just mental, it's biochemical. So we can improve things like our mood, focus, and attitude with certain strategies. There is, of course, lots of controversy surrounding biohacking. Let's be honest, some of it is a little out there. People are injecting stem cells, implanting chips, even trying DIY gene editing. I've read it described as the Wild West of wellness. Critics say it's privileged pseudoscience, more about expensive toys than real health. And they're probably not totally wrong. Not all hacks are backed by scientific evidence. There's a mix of good advice and gimmicks. The trick is knowing what's real. If you like the sound of biohacking and are curious how to get started, you don't need to do anything crazy like implant a chip in your arm. Just start small. Here are 3 beginner-friendly biohacks you can try today. 1. Morning sunlight. Expose your eyes to natural light within 30 minutes of waking up. It resets your circadian rhythm, boosting energy and improving sleep. 2. Cold showers. I love a cold shower. Uncomfortable, yes, but even 30 seconds at the end of your normal shower boosts circulation, dopamine, and mental resilience. If I start my day with something difficult like a cold shower, I feel empowered for the rest of the day. 3. Start to track one habit. Whether it's sleep, steps, or food, tracking does raise awareness, and awareness is the catalyst to change. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more wellness conversations, and comment below what's the one habit you'd love to optimize.